Let's see here, who is all here? Okay, so I'm very excited about all of these offerings with the yoga. And for this morning, what I had planned was a nice restorative beginner level class. But that doesn't mean that the seasoned yogis can't enjoy it when they hear the word beginner. Because to me, coming back to the basics, coming back to the roots, it kind of resettles and regrounds you. And I think for sure, no matter more, we definitely need a lot of grounding and efforts. So that's what we're going to work on. So in-home yoga is tons of fun. And so what I always tell people is to do what is comfortable. I'm going to, if you don't hear music from my end, that is just because you won't hear me. And so I do encourage, if you like music at your own home, do what's comfortable for you and put on any type of music that you like. You can also take your yoga mat, you can place it on, if you have carpet, that's fine too. If you have pillows, I use a variety of pillows. You can use a very large pillow, or you can use the smaller pillows as well. Whatever is comfortable, because we will use them. Just make sure that if you are on the carpet with your yoga mat, you feel a little nice and sturdy. So we're gonna actually begin, and you can take one pillow, two pillows, whatever is comfortable. You're gonna take them, and you're gonna take your sit bones, and you're gonna sit right directly on it. You're gonna come to a little bit of the edge of those pillows, because what you want you to do, as your knees open up, your knees sit lower than your pelvic region. That takes all the pressure off of your knees. Your feet, ankle could be on ankle, you can do a cross-legged comfort, whatever is very comfortable for you. Your palms can be up, your palms can be down. There's nothing wrong, but I do want you to begin to drop your shoulders. You're gonna take your spine and you're gonna imagine it just growing all the way up toward the ceiling. Your sit bones will sit very comfortably onto the mat, and you're gonna relax your shoulders down. And for a moment, you're just going to relax your facial muscles. If you want your eyes opened or closed, that is completely fine, but you're gonna relax here for a moment. And today, when we begin to work on our breathing, always remember that your breath comes from your stomach rather than up here. So when you inhale, imagine a great big balloon that when you inhale, your balloon is filling and expanding, and when you exhale, it slowly releases back. And I'm going to sit quietly here for a moment, and I'm going to find that breath. I'm going to relax all the tension. If you have a dog running around, that's okay, no stress. If you have a cat running around, no stress. If you have children, a spouse, a roommate, it's all good. You gotta just relax and let that go. On your next inhale, I'd like you to open your eyes if they're closed. You're gonna take your arms all the way up, palms together. As your arms extend up toward the ceiling, you'll feel this marvelous expansion through your body and the rib cage, opening and expanding. Inhale, reaching, and then I'm going to exhale. I'm going to take my palms down to my heart center, and I'm going to gently take my neck, and my chin tucks because I get a nice deep stretch here. And then again, I'm going to inhale the arms all the way up. And then I'm going to take my right hand down to the mat. And then I'm going to stretch that right arm all the way. And then I'm going to take the left arm. I'm going to let it hang. It's going to stretch. And what's cool here is you'll start to feel all of this open up, this rib cage, the oblique muscles, and they're expanding. Nice deep inhale. Don't go so far over that you begin to feel a twinge in your lower back. You always want to be mindful of how the body feels. And we're going to inhale up, And then you're gonna exhale, take that left hand down. It's gonna walk to the mat. You're gonna reach up with that right arm. You're gonna reach and reach. Just when you think you can't reach anymore, keep going. And then this left arm is extending over. And that right arm just begins to fold over like a crescent moon. And you're gonna inhale all the way back up. Hands reaching up. Exhale, release the arms down. You're gonna take your fingers, you're gonna interlace them, you're gonna squeeze gently those shoulder blades together. Those palms are gently reaching back. Your gaze reaches up. You fill yourself with expansion and release, waking up from the morning. Exhale and slowly release. If you're sitting on cushions, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna release those cushions and you're gonna set them down. And then you're gonna get comfy and snug onto your mat. And you're gonna come to your sit bones. And your feet are right here on the mat, so you can see me. You're gonna take your hands on the backs of your thighs. And then you're just gonna gently on an inhale, you're not kind of slunched over like so, but your shoulder blades are back. You're lifting up nice and tall, and you're slightly tilted back. And then I'm just gonna take the feet off of the mat, and they're gently pointed down toward the mat. And then you're gonna raise the feet up just a little, and then you're gonna exhale them back down. You're gonna inhale them back up, and you're gonna exhale them back down. Why are we doing this? Because we're waking up the fire in our belly. We're gonna waken up those abdominal muscles, and you're gonna release back down. And then now the next inhale, if you're feeling spicy, you're gonna release and lift up. And if you're feeling extra spicy, you want a little jalapeno into your morning, you're gonna take your hands forward, fingertips reaching towards the feet. If this doesn't feel good to you, no worries. Take your hands back onto your thighs and release the feet back to the mat. But I do encourage you to keep doing this movement. And as you do this movement, you're inhaling, feeling the breath in your body, and exhaling back down. If you're still here at this and you've been holding it for this long, good for you. Go ahead, take one more deep breath. Inhale here, feeling yourself waking up. Exhale, slowly bring those feet back down to the mat. And as you do, you're gonna position yourself so that you can actually now come down to the mat. And you're gonna come all the way down, like so. And so your back is nice and flat onto the mat. Your neck is nice and long, and your hands are resting onto your kneecaps. When you do this, something very marvelous happens, and I love this position. I come into this pose quite often. You begin to feel a nice release in your lower back, and if your sacrum is a little tilted or out of whack, it kind of gently slips back. And you're just gonna hold this here for just a moment. And you're gonna inhale nice and exhale, release. Another deep inhale for what feels good. Inhale here, exhale, release. And then I'd like you to bring your knees to your chest. I want you to hug yourself. And you're gonna inhale, bringing that head and chest off the mat. And you're just gonna squeeze and gently hug yourself. And then you're gonna exhale, back down and release. We're going to do that one more time. I want you to inhale, moving from the belly. I want you to work the stomach. And you're going to exhale, release. You're going to take both of your knees and you're going to rotate them over to the right side of the mat. As you rotate them over to the right side of the mat, your left arm is stretched out to the side. Palm is up. Now your fingertips are a high five. They're not lazy, but they're active. And so they're stretching out to the left side. And I want you to keep stretching to the left side. Your gaze is to the left. And I want you to keep reaching like you really want to go over to that other side. Your knees are still folded over to the right gently. And you begin to still breathe into this moment. And you can feel the left side begin to open up. If you'd like, you can take your legs You can see the toes, and you can stretch them out all the way over to the right side of the mat if you like. If you don't like that and it doesn't feel good, by all means, leave them bent. But I want you to continue to breathe into this moment. One more deep abdominal breath. Inhale here. Now as you exhale, lifting those knees back up. And there you go. We're back into this neutral position where my hands are resting on top of the knees. My feet are off the mat. And then you're going to take your legs and you're going to open them up. So you're kind of in this frog position. And the legs are stretched out, open to the side. And you're just going to stay here for just a moment. For just a moment, be still. And then if you want, and you've got some good music going, and you're starting to feel it, I want you to begin to feel what it feels like to move and groove into this moment. I'm definitely one of those yoga practitioners where I love to just kind of like the hip hop yoga, and you're just flowing and you're moving and there's absolutely nothing wrong. And you're just like, you know what, this feels good. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put some movement into it. And the sways back and forth can be tiny or they can be as large as you want. Because I want you to open up those hips. We've been inside our apartments. We've been quarantined. Now is the time to move. And you're going to come back to stillness if you're moving. And then I want you to go ahead and just stretch those legs up. Push the heels up. Move and wiggle the toes and point them down towards the floor. And then you're going to bring them back in. Inhale here. Exhale, stretch them out. And as you do, push the heels up. Bring the toes down toward the mat. Inhale, flow back in. Exhale, stretch them out. Inhale, flow back in. Exhale, stretch them out. Last one, inhale, flow back in. And then I want you to exhale, and we're gonna hug. I want you to hug yourself. And I want you, as you release, we did the right side, right? So now we gotta do the other side. So you're gonna take your folded knees, and you're gonna stretch them gently to the left side of the mat. As you do, I want you to take your right arm, and I want you to reach and stretch. Remember, palm is up, fingers are reaching and stretch. So there's none of this, I'm just gonna lay here. I want you to reach. I want you to be active because I want you to want opening and stretching your body. Continue to breathe here. It's also a really cool opportunity to see how does your body feel on one side versus the other side. And you're continuing to reach. Breathe here and release. If your legs feel good bent, leave them bent. If you're like, no, you know what, I want to stretch them out, then by all means stretch them out. So your legs are gently stretched out to the other side. And continue to breathe. On your next inhale, I want you to inhale those knees back up to the center of the mat. Again, you're going to take your hands onto the tops of your knees. My feet are not on the mat, they're lifted up. We're just going to hold this space for just a moment. And on your next inhale, again, we're going to stretch out. But this time, using the belly and breathing from the belly, I want you to inhale up, exhale back. Inhale, flow up, exhale back. Inhale, flow up, exhale back. Inhale, flow up, exhale back. Last one, inhale up, exhale back. And then you're going to release and you're gonna roll over to whatever side of the mat you want to, and then you're gonna slowly lift yourself up. As you slowly lift yourself up, we're going to come to the tabletop position. I love the tabletop position for a variety of reasons. One, it's super friendly for beginners who are trying to breathe with poses. Breathing with poses is actually always kind of hard thing to do. So this pose kind of just naturally makes you do that. So the shoulders and wrists are in line. Your fingertips are reaching towards the front of the mat. Your knees are directly below the hips. They're not up here, they're not back here, but they're below the hips. Your toes are curled under. So you're going to take your toes, you're going to curl them under. You're going to gaze at the mat, and you're going to comfortably just dip your hips, lift your chest, inhale here. Exhale, rounding, lifting up. And as you do this, you uncurl the toes. Now you're going to inhale, flow up. Exhale, flow back through. Inhale, flow up. Exhale, rounding through. Last one, slow inhale up. Exhale through. Nice. And now I'm going to release. And as I do, I want you to bring your two knees as wide as the mat. And then you're going to stretch the arms out. As you stretch the arms out, your sit bones begin to push back. Again, I'm not telling you to collapse down. I'm telling you to reach all the way back. So you'll push those sit bones back. You'll extend the arms, and they're going to reach again. I want you to reach and be excited. Activate your arms. There's nothing lazy about this pose, but working and stretching through. You can take your forehead. It can rest gently onto the mat as your sit bones reach back and the front of your body is reaching, expanding, and opening forward. Take a deep breath here, inhaling. Exhale, push your sit bones back. Now I want you to take your hands, you're going to walk them all the way to the right side of the mat. And you continue to push the sit bones back. But what's delicious about this pose, as you walk to the right side of the mat, this left arm is really reaching, extending forward. So what happens is it's opening up the shoulders. So if you've been on the computer a lot, it opens up the obliques on the rib cage, creating a lot of space. So you're going to continue to reach forward. Nice deep inhale here. Exhale, push the sit bones back. We're going to walk the hands all the way, just like you did, to the left side of the mat. Same thing on the left side of the mat. You're going to stretch and you're going to work it and feel how that feels. Elongating now toward the left side of the mat. What happens here, the right side is getting some love. The obliques are getting some love. That shoulder is getting some love. We've all been on the computers. We've all been inside. Open this up. Inhale. Exhale. Now I want you to bring your hands all the way to the front of the mat, and you're going to come back into the tabletop position. And you're going to curl your toes under. As you curl your toes under and extend your hands forward, we're going to lift up into the first downward facing dog. Now, downward facing dog, especially in our very first one, there's no right or wrong. What I do ask, though, is that your wrist face the front of the mat. Your fingertips face the front of the mat, so we don't get injured into our wrists. Being extra friendly and cautious. Lift those sit bones up. Feel how this feels. I want you to pedal the feet. As you can see, I'm moving the feet here. This feels good. It's okay if the heels don't reach the mat. No big deal. But what feels good, especially downward dog, that I love to do, that I want you to do now, is I want you to put a huge bend into the knees. And I want you to reach back, and then I want you to lift up, then push the sit bones back. And then I want you to just put some movement into this. The movement can be like this, bending the knees, reaching up. If you want to put a huge dance into your legs, put a huge dance into your legs. If you need to shake your head out, shake the head out. If you have pets, they love it when you go into this pose because they think it's playtime and it's awesome. So if you have animals with you or pets with you, please share and let everyone know because we all love dogs and cats. Or maybe you have toddlers running underneath you right now. That's okay too. So then I want you to take the right foot off of the mat, and then all you're going to do is just lift it up, and it's going to just stretch back. Now when I'm stretching it back, the toes are pointing down, and the heel is pushing back, and I'm just reaching it back. Now I want you to take your knee to your chest, and you're just going to playfully lunge it forward, and then shoot it back. Inhale the knee through the hands, exhale it back. Now you're going to take your hip if you want, and it stacks onto the other hip, and then that right foot falls over to the left side, and you feel this wonderful opening up into that hip, and everything seems to be melting and feeling good. Now you're going to inhale, bring that right knee all the way over toward the right hand, and we'll go into our first pigeon. Now pigeon is a really neat pose. Now if you want, you can have a pillow underneath your hip. If you don't want a pillow, you don't have to. But I do recommend that the leg behind you, the left leg that's stretched out, is directly out behind you. You can stay up here onto your arms. There's no pressure to come down. You can come all the way down to your forearms, or you can come all the way down and snug your face down. There's no right or wrong. But I do ask that you look forward, being careful not to put your body into some weird twists. And just for a moment, just inhale here and exhale. Sometimes when I'm in pigeon, it's one of those poses too that you don't have to be still. Like you can kind of like rock back and forth. And like I said, we've all been kind of quarantined inside, so our bodies are probably all like creaking. So it's neat and good to put some fluidity and energy back into that stagnation. And it, you know, it makes you smile, which is good, you know. So continue to breathe here into pigeon, wherever you are. If you're still up on your forearms or if you're snug down below. If you're at home and you're like, I want it to go really, really super spicy jalapeno level and you're familiar with the full pigeon and you want to begin any inversions and you know how by safely doing that, you're welcome to lift that other leg up and continue the inversion. For today's lesson, I will not be teaching inversions. It's all about restoring and level 1 for now. On your next inhale, after you're done kind of moving and grooving through that, if you have a pillow, remove that pillow for now. We'll come back to it. Gently put a bend in that left knee, and you're going to actually walk yourself carefully back, and you'll find yourself back into the tabletop here. As you do, same thing that we just did. You're going to extend the hands forward. You're going to stretch all the way back. You're going to gaze in between the legs. And in your next inhale, let's inhale back up into another downward dog. Sometimes you might have to readjust yourself. That's fine. Again, I encourage you, if you've got some music on you like, and you're like, this feels good, put some movement. If you want to be still, that's always wonderful too. Take a nice deep breath. Inhale here. And exhale. Inhale here. and exhale. I want you to take your left foot just like we did on the other side now, and you're going to take it off the mat. You take that left foot and it reaches up just a little hip high. And then I point the toes down and I stretch that left heel back. My right heel naturally comes down toward the mat. And then I bring the foot down. Put a bend in your knees, a huge bend. Inhale here. Exhale, lift the sit bones, pushing back. Inhale that left foot off the mat, and then I'm going to rotate if I want, or you can leave it neutral. And I'm going to stack the hips onto the hips. My left foot falls over to the right side, and I begin to feel this great expansion, opening into the hips. And now I'm going to set myself up for the left side of pigeon. And I bring that left leg down. Same thing, if you want a pillow, you can. If you do not, you don't have to. I'm going to take the pillow underneath here. I do want to make sure that the right leg is directly out from behind me. And same thing. You can stay here, or you can come down onto your forearms if you like, or you can come down where you have like your two fists together and your forehead down directly here. But eventually what happens is you begin to feel this nice opening into the sit bones and into your inner thigh. But it's definitely one of those poses where you don't need to force it. Actually, you should never force any pose. Eventually, through all of the breathing and throughout the duration of the class, as your body warms up, it eases into the pose really comfortably. But we're going to hold this pose for another good couple of breaths. And if you want, just like I've been doing with all the poses, do what feels good. If you need to kind of gently rock from side to side. What's really great, and I've been talking about this with other yoga instructors who are doing a lot of Facebook Live, is that there is something a little neat being inside your apartment or your condo or your home, because it kind of lowers any vulnerability that you sometimes feel in a class. You're like, oh, I have to be like that, or oh, I've got to do the pose like this. And you don't have to. And that's what's kind of nice, right? So if you're like, you know what, I kind of want to move my hips a little, I don't want to be still, or oh my gosh, this is the greatest song ever, I think I might break out into a dance, then I totally encourage that. So on your next inhale, we're going to work coming out of this pose. Gently inhale your arms up if they're not. And then you're just going to exhale one final. Chest is forward, shoulders are forward, gaze are forward. And then let's go ahead and inhale ourselves gently out of the pose by coming back into the tabletop. And I'll set the pillow aside for now. Same thing, so my wrist and hands face forward. My sit bones slightly push back. And on my next inhale, I'm going to inhale all the way back up into downward dog. Exhale here into the pose, gently. Inhale here. Exhale back. And your next inhale, come back down to your knees. If the knees are hurting you because you're on wood floor, you're always welcome to fold the mat back or have multiple mats if you have them. But I'm going to take my right foot in between my hands. And I'm going to walk them up just a little, not the hands, the foot. And then if comfortable, you're going to slowly come up into this position. So, right knee is facing forward. My chest and my shoulders are facing. And I'm going to swing my arms up. And as my fingertips come together up here, You're inhaling, lengthening, expanding, reaching. Exhale, dipping into the pose. Leave your gaze forward for now. We're just going to stay here. You're going to feel this psoas opening up. Everything wonderful is opening up. And come back to neutral. As you come back to neutral, you can stay here. Or if you're like, you know what, I want to see what happens if I just gently stretch my leg a little straight. If you wobble and fall, that's okay. No big deal. Come back into the pose. Now we're going to come back, bending the knee, reaching up. Inhale, inhale, reach, 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 reach. Exhale, forward into the pose. Now this time, don't put your hands together just yet. Your arms are not together yet, but I do want you to gently lift your chin up, gazing up, reach up toward that ceiling. Lift the chin up. You want it, you want to expand, you've got it. And come out of that pose. Bring your hands to your hips. Take a moment here. We're going to take that a little further this time. Your next inhale, again. Inhale, reaching up. This time, if comfortable, the hands do come together. As they come together and you want to interlace a few fingers, feel free, but I'm reaching up. As I reach up, my chin lifts up. My chin keeps going. My head relaxes back. Arms are reaching up. Psoas is opening up. Exhale. Release gently your hands to your knees. And if comfortable, bring them down to the mat and gently bring your knee, the right, besides the left. And then shake anything out that needs to be shaken out. If your wrists are hurting, definitely leave a comment and we can help work through that. I'm now going to take the left foot and I'm going to put it between the hands. Same thing here. So if you want, you just gently walk yourself up. I'm going to move the foot up just slightly. It's not going to be all the way up, but it's not going to be directly here. Just moves very kind of subtly up. So I'm going to inhale my arms up. The palms do not touch. My gaze stays forward, but I relax the shoulders down. But your arms do reach up. Leave your chin and gaze though straight ahead. And we're going to inhale, exhale, dip forward. As you do, we're not tucking the tailbone. We're just lunging gently forward. It's very simple, but marvelous. As I said, I keep mentioning the abdominal muscles, the psoas muscles. We're waking everything up here, and it feels good. It feels groovy. And we're gonna come back. As you come back, if you want, you can leave your knee here, or you can begin to lengthen that leg, because that just feels good. If it doesn't feel good, well, then don't do it. Put a bend back into that knee. This time you're going to bring your two hands together. You're going to lift up. As you lift up, you're going to reach up through the spine. Your arms are going to reach. I want you to elevate. I want you to reach up. Grow, grow. Exhale, release, forward fold, release all that tension. Exhale, come back into neutral. And again, if comfortable, hands to your hips. Let your legs straighten out. If that's not good for you, then yeah, I guess that's okay. You don't have to. Put a bend back into that knee. Bring your hands together. Again, interlace them. This time I want you to lengthen the arms up. Inhale here. Chin up toward the ceiling. Exhale. Release deep into this pose. I want that chin up. If you wobble and fall, that is okay. You'll come back into the pose. But I want you to lengthen. I want you to feel deep this abdominal muscle here. The psoas opening up. Exhale. Hands to the knee. Gently come out of the pose. Take your hands to the mat. Two knees facing together. Sit bones down. And you're gonna take your chest toward the legs, and you're gonna come into this marvelous child's pose. I want you to feel your sit bones relax. Palms are up. Exhale and inhale here. Take a few moments. I'm breathing here. I'm exhaling any stress, any worry that I have. On your next inhale, take your hands beside you, and you're going to inhale to a seated position. You're going to take both of your legs straight out onto the mat, and I'm not going to lounge down, I'm not going to sink forward, but I'm going to sit up nice and tall, as if there is literally a wall right behind me, so I'm sitting flush with it. My legs are sitting straight out. My toes are up toward the ceiling. They're nice and spread. And then I'm going to take the palms of my hands down beside me, and I'm going to lengthen up even more. I'm going to lengthen up even more, and then I'm going to bring those toes toward me. Inhale here. Exhale. Inhale, lengthening up. Exhale. Release. Take the right foot off the mat, and then you're going to take it over the left side of the leg. You're going to take the right arm. It's going to come right directly behind you. Now look what happens. Instead of just doing this, I want you to inhale up. I want you to roll that right shoulder back. I want you to gaze over that right shoulder. And then I want you to take it further. I want you to raise that left arm. Inhale here. Exhale that left elbow over the right knee. And then your hand again. You're not just hanging out. You're not just like, oh, I'm just, hey. I want that hand out. Nice and activated. And you're going to continue to lengthen up. And you're going to continue to keep reaching and continuing to keep aspiring, looking over that shoulder. Inhaling. Don't hold your breath. Don't hold that breath. And your next available exhale, I want you to release. Exhale, counter twist. Ugh. Because it feels so good. And then you're going to take this foot off the mat. And then all I'm doing is I'm just doing this lovely little cradling here. And you're just going to hold this up. Again, you're still sitting up as if you're flushed against a wall. Just feel this gentle little simple movement. It's so simple, but so perfect. You're just waking up the hips, giving everything some love. And then you're going to release that right leg down. Same thing, reminder, checking in. How am I? No. Yes. Good. You're going to take this left foot off of the mat. Same thing. It's going to go over to the right side. The left arm reaches up. Again, reach up, lengthen, grow. Goes over, flush behind you. You're going to reach up with that right arm. Reach, 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 reach. Inhale, inhale, exhale, over to that left side. And then it's going to take your gaze all the way over. Inhaling, inhaling. Don't hold the breath. Keep inhaling and exhaling. Taking that gaze over. Deepening into this pose. Next available exhale, slowly release. We're just going to wrap our body around. And I just do this little counter twist thing just because it just feels like I should do that. And you're going to release. Again, nothing lazy is going on. I'm still nice and tall. And I'm going to take this foot and I'm just going to grab a hold of it and I'm just going to give it a little love. I'm just going to cradle this leg. Opening this up. Again, just because it feels good. And it's good for you. Next available exhale, you're going to extend the leg out. You're going to put a little shake into the leg. If you've been home, which I'm assuming, yes, you have been, you're going to kind of waken up the legs. And you're going to do this gentle little pat. Don't hurt yourself, my goodness. It's just a gentle little kind of getting the muscles going, the muscles warmed up. And it's going to go and do all of this. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Massaging yourself, taking the IT band, grabbing the quad. This is kind of the end of the yoga thing that I love to do before Shavasana, is I like to kind of do a little self-care, a little check-in, and you'll be amazed when you kind of gently grab that muscle. And again, we're not, getting vicious with ourselves. It's just kind of a gentle wake up of the muscle here. And same thing on the left side. Kind of grab into that IT band, grab up into the quad muscles. And that feels good as well. All right, my dears. You're going to go ahead and you're just going to slowly extend down onto the mat. Now, the great thing about Shavasana is if you want, you can either lay completely flat down onto the mat and you're just completely lying down. If you want to bring your knees up and your feet down, you can do that too. You can also, as I had mentioned, this is a time that I really do encourage everyone to actually take advantage of this if you can. And if that means you need to go and grab your robe or your blanket to cover yourself, please do so. If you've got your favorite music on, please do so. And the reason for this is a lot of reasons. As you completely let yourself surrender and you let your body surrender. And if you were to imagine this beautiful light that's maybe at the top of the crown of your head, any color that you want, mine's lavender. And you just imagine this color, and mine is lavender, and it's just slowly moving all the way down through each part of my body. And as it moves down through each part of your body, I want you to imagine that muscle, that energy, that particular part of your body has completely relaxed and let go. And it's just gently swimming down through your body, all the way from your heart to the belly, to the hips, to your quads, to your kneecaps, to your calves, to your ankles, to your toes. And I want you to take this time for yourself. An opportunity just for, even if it's for a minute to 20 minutes, is entirely up to you. But you will leave your eyes closed. You'll even open up your jaw just a little so that your muscles in your jaw begin to release and let go. There's so much tension in our jaws, it causes so much headaches. And you'll just completely let that go. Shavasana can be used as a form of meditation. Surrendering into the pose. It's an opportunity also to gain perspective that everything that you're worrying about, the only thing that you can do is just sometimes relax. Because the more you tense up, And the more that you try too hard is when nothing really can be accomplished. Nice inhale here. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. When you're ready, you can roll over to whatever side of the mat that you wish. And you'll just kind of roll into this side. And you'll feel how wonderful it feels to lie into such a little cradled position, because it's very vulnerable, but it's very relaxing. And when you're ready, you'll slowly bring yourselves up. Now, darlings, if you want to stay into Shavasana, by all means, continue. You can ignore what I'm about ready to say and just stay there. Stay there for as long as you like. But for those who are joining me and want to sit up, you may. And you'll come into a very comfortable seated position. And your sit bones are relaxed. And your shoulders are down, and your neck is reaching up. And you're just very full of nice light. That color that you chose during the Shavasana, you're completely just brimming with. And you're just very chill. Your hands are comfortable in your lap. The palms are up. And your eyes are closed here. And on your next available inhale, I'd like you to do a nice, gentle inhale. And I want you to inhale all the love. I know that sounds so cheeky, because it does. But it's all the love that still exists. When we at home, maybe you're alone, I want you to know that you are not. And you'll inhale. And as you exhale all of that stress. Take your two hands together and you'll take your gaze down and your chin is tucked. And it's just a simple bow in honor of you and all of your efforts. Well, Lakeshore East, Aqua. That was super, super fun, and I hope that you had a lot of fun, and thank you for your patience with the Facebook Live earlier. I learned a lot about it, and any comments, please let me know so that I can, for the next class, meet you, kind of make it better for everyone. So I hope everyone has a lovely day. So namaste and cheers to you.